Hello everyone and welcome back to the Edain mod. Today I'm not playing another battle, I know. I'm being a little bit lazy this week. But we're going to be doing another replay on the Forza Horizon 1. And I'm not a participant in this battle. This is a battle that was done, as you see here, 13th of January. So, good 2 months now. But I got this given to me and I'm thinking, I'm going to show it off now. I was thinking of doing something else, but I'm going to save it for another time. So, what is this battle and who is playing? We have Dorito as Lorien, and against them he has Anichan as the dwarves of the Iron Hills. So, Lorien and the dwarves of the Iron Hills. I expect the dwarves to be going for ram riders to counter any aggressive archer power from Lorien. Well, Lorien is going straight for getting those settlements, of course, as you should. Although Lorien elves aren't the best at dealing with the creep lairs because they can constantly take a lot of damage, and they are slow to destroying buildings. Let's see. I see a little dot here that tells me he might have gone for Carx Ravens. Let's have a look. We have Mystical Stream for the first power for Lorien. And, yep, Carx Ravens. And we've already got Rumen and Orifin purchased on the side of Lorien. Very nice. And the Hall of Warriors built, already getting Iron Hills Guardians with a Stonemason working on making that money. While also a mineshaft has been built on the left, and I imagine the north will be another mineshaft. While down in Lorien's side, and Dorito has built a melon tree and looks like he's about to build another one right next to a troll lair. Not a bad decision, seeing that it will probably be kept safe for a while. And you can see here the first Iron Hills scout has appeared, and Orifin is running away. Which honestly, if you just turn around and fought, he could annihilate that Iron Hill scout. But it seems like he's content to run Orifin back into the base, which has currently only got one border guard house built, and he's already gone for pikemen.
I cannot bear this pain.
I can see why he went for the pikemen, to counteract any wargs or trolls, but on the Forza Horizon 1, because this is the Forza Horizon 1 map, the center layers, which normally protect outposts, are only warg layers protecting outposts, instead of troll layers protecting... Warg layers protecting settlements instead of troll layers protecting outposts. They swap them round, as you can see here. The outpost and the settlement have changed, but I believe the cave troll was always there and the wargs are always there. I always get them mixed up on Forza Horizon. Oh, we've got a pony house set up already. Are we expecting a transition into Ironbreakers early on? We do see crossbowmen. Now, normally, against most factions, I wouldn't recommend getting ranged units as the dwarves. But against Lorien, it gives you a rare example of a time when it is actually a good thing to get ranged units. Because one, you can counter their own ranged power with your own, and the dwarven crossbows have an ability which gives them a fat stack of armour in exchange for a bit of their range capabilities. But compared to, say, like the more fun bowman, just a flat 75% damage reduction in the increasing in armour is really strong. And you can see in the north, we've already see Dorito taking out the troll lair with the pikeman unit he built earlier, using Rumen and Orifin just to scout out the area, being a bit annoying. I've not seen any archers yet. Oh, speak to the devil, and they shall appear. New unit of elven archers has been made, while a unit of pikemen and swordmen are marching around to the west. We see the dwarves moving south to take down this warg lair. No pikemen built, but with those crossbows it does help to destroy the wargs very, very quick on their feet. These Lorien warriors should be able to destroy the lair with the aid of the 2 scout heroes and some recently recruited recruits. That's terrible. We see a sanctuary has been built and he's going straight for the combat training. Now, I'm not against this, but personally, I would have also built another border guard house already, because the 20% cost decrease in your infantry is definitely substantial. But on a 1k start, I can understand why that would not be done straight away. I'm assuming this is a 1k start. I never actually paid attention to what they had to begin with. But as you can see, Anichan is building up a pretty sizable army of dwarves. The dwarves of the Iron Hills aren't actually the slowest of the dwarves in out of the three dwarven factions, actually. Erebor is the slowest. So the Iron Hills and basic Lothlorien units, there isn't much of a speed comparison. To the small force moving west. Already building an Entmoot. I think he's going to regret that, because if Dorito didn't already know, when building an Entmoot, if it is constantly under damage, under attack, it will stop building. Or more properly, if his health dips, its building time will stop slow as well. Cox Ravens thrown onto the mineshaft to reduce damage and armor of the elves trying to destroy it. Crossbows already doing some sizable damage, while the Mystic Stream got pulled out to try and reduce their speed. Against units that are already quite slow, that is a sizable downside. Did he build this Entmoot just to distract Anichan? I think he did. That is a very interesting strategy. Using the Entmoot as a decoy, in a sense. Oh, maybe not. But yeah, the second those elves go into melee combat, they don't stand a chance against the stubbornness of the dwarves. Quite literally, in this case, because it gives them extra armor as well. And the dwarves of the Iron Hills have the highest health pools for their starting infantry from all three dwarf factions, and I think in general as well. I think only being surpassed by the Elves of Imladris, and even then by a very small margin. But yeah, this Entmoot will never get built at this current rate. It's currently sitting at 66%, but it is also keeping these dwarf warrior units in this area. And in fact, it's a constant stream of just sitting at 66%. So yeah, that's these units completely out of the run, just trying to stop this Entmoot from being built. It is slowly getting destroyed over time, but it's not going to take enough to do anything about it. We see the Rallying Call has now also been purchased, while more Guardians have been recruited as well. More pikemen and archers and basic warriors have keep being recruited. The blacksmith is now being built. I imagine if I could see it, he's getting the what's the word? The workers' tools, getting his fortress upgraded as quickly as possible. And every settlement nearby has been converted into a Malon tree. Good, good. He's getting the most out of having exactly 5, I'm not mistaken. Yep, he's got exactly 5 Malon trees, so he's making the most economy he can at this current juncture. And he went for the Refuge in the Woods. Very nice. That makes any Malon tree of his choice a pre-nerf... it makes it a pre-nerf well, which means that it can constantly replenish troops and heal without needing to use an ability. And Mirkwood has been built in the south. Very nice indeed. We see a Norin with his 3 dwarven scouts, although not upgraded yet. There's still only scouts, but the pikemen, which Dorito has very adequately placed into several positions to protect his weaker units, are still getting crushed, and the scouts are going to escape with their single entity bodies and their high health pools. Oh wait, no, that was Norin. That was Norin that ran into the pikemen and got messed up. Oh dear. What we need now is to see the elite equipment. That pony house, sadly, it has made some nice cute ponies, but it's not doing anything else. It's 400 resources that got invested into doing nothing at this current point. It's too early to be using the pony house. I normally reserve using that until I have at least got the elite equipment and a sizable army to then get those ram riders. Although, speaking of, some crossbowmen are still here. Look at this unit. Look how long it is taking to destroy this one building. I'm fairly certain if he tries to cancel the building, it will not give him his money back. Some buildings in settlements do that, just for things like this in particular. But you can see here, these dwarves just will refuse to die. Best way to kill them off is by charging them, but unfortunately, as a faction that doesn't have any cavalry, except for, he might be going for that right now. In his current state, he cannot use his the weakness of the dwarves, which is speed, to his advantage, because he's also got crossbowmen. And we're trying to protect his base as well. It's going to be even more difficult. So what is Dorito planning by building this Mirkwood base? And also a Beorning hut. I imagine he should have probably set it to activate the honey harvest, so he can get some more money.
Lorien archers, ready for battle.
He's getting Mirkwood archers. Okay, I understand. Mirkwood archers are actually really good, because despite the fact that Lorien archers are in most cases better, because of their ambush of the wood elves ability, if you're not a adept user of that ability like me, you can you forget that you can actually increase the damage of your archers, or just applying knockback to your enemy. So it looks like Anichan has decided to retreat into the mines. He's playing a very slow and passive style. He's gone for a demolisher. He wants that Entmoot gone. He knows he can't do it alone, and this Wargler is currently constantly streaming forth enemies. And yeah, in this current safe position, if he uses refuge... Oh! Pardon me, he did not upgrade his fortress at all. He went for the forged settlers tools, so he can get his upgrades for the Malon trees, giving them Commander defenses, and when a Malon tree has reached level 3, it can give a border guard support, billowing fog, or banner protection, so either vision, shroud, or armor reduction. And you see the Beorning hut here is now level 3, meaning these Beornings are being recruited incredibly quickly, making it very efficient in this current fight. And yep, the Demolisher brought in just 25% of the health for that poor Entmoot. It is going to go down finally. Although it seems like Dorito is doing just fine as well. His economy is skyrocketing. Meanwhile, Anichan has only got the workers' tools set up for the dwarves in here. He's going Demolisher spam. Oh, you people should know by now what I think about siege units. Although I'm fairly certain these particular siege units also act as a mini cavalry. So if they charge pikemen, they will get destroyed instantly. But at the same time, if they trample anything normal that isn't a pike, such as a swords unit or an archer unit, they should get trampled quite efficiently. These dwarves here, if he was to put them in their shield wall formation, 20% extra damage and armor makes them an efficient unit in more ways than one. Meanwhile, in the south, we see our first 2 Beornings mixed with some Mirkwood archers and Lorien archers. There's still 2 units hiding in these mine shafts. He's planning to pop them out at any second. The problem is, if he does that, these Beornings will rip them to shreds. They do massive, massive hits with each attack. And with their quick successive hits, they can destroy anything. And then, if they so wish it, they can turn into bears and start doing some massive impact in trample, which is another way for getting cavalry. And yet 2 hits from Beornings, the Demolisher is destroyed. And I think one of them, through a glitch movement, decided to do a bit of a teabag on the battering ram. Oh, that makes me laugh a bit inside. Yeah, Anichan is starting to get a bit stuck in his base. Although saying that, he has made a small move up in the north, destroying the Wargler finally, with Narin still alive, thank goodness. While, yep, their power points still seem to be equal. Dorito definitely in the lead compared to Anichan. I believe Anichan does want to get the lone tower, but he might also be saving up for something else. Another Entmoot. Someone must be fuming. Oh, that's a loud horn to be sounded. I believe that was on the Dwarf Warriors defending their mineshaft. Yep, stubbornness has not yet been used, although if it were, they would stand a little bit longer against this elf horde. And sadly, that's the problem with the dwarves. If they get outnumbered, they don't last for very long. He might be holding for the middle power, the final stand of the dwarves, which gives a massive armor increase and knockback resistance, making for an incredibly viable effect to protect in a large-scale battle. Although, things like Bayonin's, oh no, tell a lie, he went for the lookout tower, the lone tower. Good. Good. Although Dorito has now got an enemy right on his doorstep. The thing with the elves is, unlike most good factions, they're actually quite aggressive, and they do really well at successive aggressive attacks because of their ambushing nature. Oh, the fortress of Erith Mithrin is being built in the north. Sadly, it is now going to get surrounded and destroyed, which is a shame indeed. And you won't get any money back for it either, because it's unfortunately one of those buildings that, if it's built, it's not going to be coming back. Although, its existence is preventing it from being put into the hands of Dorito, but only for a brief moment. Let's see. We've seen no ends coming from here yet. I believe he just wanted to build this just so it was there. The Emu is a very tough to destroy settlement building. And here we can see again this pony building. Although having them exist is good, he still hasn't got an elite equipment yet. So having these ram riders... Oh, no, tell a lie. He has recruited... He has got elite equipment. Then why can't he get the iron breakers? Not sure what to say about that. But yeah, we see... Tana Dorino. The dwarves on their beautiful rams are starting to destroy the Entmoot while an Ash End is being recruited. The Ash End is the slightly stockier Ent that can't really use any stones, but he is pretty tough. Half the price of an ordinary Ent, and the ordinary Ash Ent, not Ash Ent, the ordinary Ent that we all know and love requires Treebeard to be recruited. So it makes Lorien not as strong, although of course the AI themselves don't particularly care about that. They just build all the Ents anyway. But as we can see, Dorito is currently revving out. And another Entmoot. He's taking full advantage of the fact that he knows he has 5 Malon trees. He doesn't want to build anymore, so he's not losing any capacity for income. And we can see here he's built a Vault of the King and a wine cellar for returning home to heal. And to get the best stuff for... Oh, the dwarves. Yeah, you should know that arrow volley doesn't do much to cavalry, as you can imagine. But yeah, a large elven army has started making its way up north. The Eremith Bastion did unfortunately get destroyed quite swiftly. And it seems like that effect is going to still happen here. The dwarves are in armor mode. The only problem is, though, that archers are still not good in hand-to-hand combat. It'd be much better if they had an army behind them. And unfortunately, these ponies have been spotted out. Bayornings by the shitload. Quite nice. Very lovely. But yeah, that's the problem with the pony camp. They're good to start with. Sorry, tell a lie. They're not good to start with. You want to be getting other things first. And look at that. The Ram Riders are already punching a hole into the enemy base. You can see Arrow Storm has been recruited and Veil of Mist. Of course, otherwise how would he get the Arrow Storm? Meanwhile, an Ent is about to breach the gate. I think this might be GG for this battle. Although I cannot be sure yet. How much of the Wood Elves has been used with... is that Haldir? That is Haldir. So he used Move Unseen to shroud his allied units. So then he could use Ambush of the Wood Elves to give them a 50% damage increase. While the Ent is destroying the gate, the Dwarves of the Iron Hills are now getting upgrades. Ooh, I'm not sure about those upgrades. Your buildings are still tier 2. Yeah, still tier 2 and tier 1. As good as it is to have these kind of things, I think it would have been better if he focused a bit more on his economy. I think is the biggest problem here is he did really well at successfully getting his best units, the Ram Riders, to their full capacity, and they are really good at their full capacity. The problem is though, neglecting your economy is the worst thing you can do as any faction, especially the dwarves. Because you need to spend a lot of money on those Ram Riders. And when you're getting overwhelmed by a large enemy force, even the Ram Riders aren't enough. So yeah, even if you can destroy this Ascent, which he should do quite quickly with these dwarves, although Norrin is getting hit quite hard as well, Beornings are actually really good against them because they're resistant to knockback. And worst of all is the fact that there's still a large army, including pikemen, to fight off. If you built a well instead of this siege works, I think we would have had a better chance of surviving. But yeah, unfortunately, the Ram Riders just got absolutely mobbed. And the mob rule wins, sadly. As you can see, Dorito is now fully built out his base with 2 Galathrin quarters for when he wants to build the Galathrin warriors. Yeah, Dorito did really well. He sustained a dominant early game, getting rid of the creep layers fast, attaining extra income early on, keeping his supply routes at a permanent high at the start of the game into the late game. This meant his economy, so his ability to continuously upgrade more things, was in effect. And you can see he didn't even get any of his upgrades for his base. He only really got longbows and banner carriers. And banner carriers, yep, makes sense. Longbows, I imagine he was getting the longbows ready just for getting the Guardians of Karas Galathon when the time was right. Because they are actually also really good against the dwarves. Well, unfortunately, that is GG. Both players played really well. Honestly, if I was to play against either of these guys in a PvP, I'd probably lose against them if I was the other player. I can't really say I could do much else. I think Anichan tried to rely too much on the Iron Hill scouts to perform perfectly. And it's true, they can do really, really well. They are very good at doing their job. The only problem is, though, they can't do it alone. The best thing about the Edain mod, I think, is how well an army can work together when it has all different pieces put together. Like my army for Imladris, where it's specifically Blade Masters and Pikemen to deal with enemy cavalry or monsters. Then having all the heroes put together just makes an incredibly difficult force to face. And I think, honestly, that what Dorito pulled out here, getting quite a lot of Mirkwood Pikeman units, it definitely excels more than the Border Guards. But obviously, the main reason he went for more pikes over anything else was to deal with the Ram Riders, the biggest strength of the Iron Hills, which sets them apart compared to their compatriots nations. And there we go, that is GG. Well done to both players, you both played really well. I hope you all enjoyed this replay, this cast. And I hope you are eager to see some more. I've not got any currently left banked up. If you have any replays for the Edain mod you want me to show, I am happy to show them. But currently just going through lots of different things, experimenting with new things. This week's been different because I've not actually done a live stream this week. I've just recorded 3 videos, one after the other. And I've enjoyed it. I can't say I do that every week because it does quite badly burn me out trying to find things like exploits and ranking everything. To be fair, the tier list probably took me... It took me a month to get all the information I needed correct. And it took me another 2 months to actually work up the courage to do it. So you all enjoyed today, as I've already said. And I'll see you all next time. Farewell everyone. Bye.